Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ta'ala ala Sayyidil Mursaleen wa alihi wa sahbihi wa barak wa sallam. All praises are due to Allah, Lord of the worlds, and peace and blessings be constantly showered upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad, his family, his companions, to the Day of Judgment. As to what follows, in looking at Ramadan in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, we get an example of action. We get an example of change coming about, of transition coming about, that would last until the day of resurrection. The Prophet ﷺ and his companions had made a treaty with the Quraysh at Hudaybiyah, in which they were allowed to go to Mecca, to make an umrah, to visit their homes, but finally it was broken up. And the Prophet ﷺ gathered the people of Yathrib, now Medina al-Munawwara, gathered them together and let the Muhajirin know, we're going to go back to Mecca and we will take back what is ours. We will purify this city. The Ansar were ready, but it was the month of Ramadan. If you are a person who sleeps all day and is not ready for action, not ready for change, this would be a problem. But the believers, in carrying out Ramadan in its essence, made the move going toward Mecca. And they fasted. They left on the 10th of the month. And as they moved through the desert, they reached a point coming close to Mecca. They broke their fast, but they're still in the month of Ramadan, still with that action, still with that striving. You're allowed to break your fast while you are traveling. They came into the area of Mecca. Abu Sufyan came out and saw the size of this group, the seriousness of the Muslims, and he submitted. And he asked the Prophet ﷺ for forgiveness. He asked him for a chance for the people of Mecca. And the Prophet ﷺ said, go back to the people and tell them that as we are moving in, if anybody goes in your house, he's safe. If anybody goes in the Kaaba area, he's safe. Let them just stay home in their own houses. And so the Prophet ﷺ and his companions, in the month of Ramadan, this is coming in the 21st of Ramadan. This is in the last 10 days. And they came into Mecca with no fighting. They were able to overcome overwhelming odds of the Quraysh. And they came in, and the people were trembling in fear. And the Prophet ﷺ said, what do you think about me? And they said, you are the best of us. You will have mercy on us. And the Prophet ﷺ said, go, antum at-tulaqa, that you can go. You're free. This is mercy and compassion, which is shown in the month of Ramadan. But through this mercy and this example, because the Prophet ﷺ, when he came into Mecca, he came with his head bowed, wearing a black turban, riding on his camel. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed this ummah with this example of humility and forgiveness. And in the month of Ramadan, this caused transition. This caused the people of Mecca to come into Islam in crowds. This caused the opportunity for the Muslims to purify Mecca of the idols. So all of those idols that were there of Lat and Uzza and Sawa in Mecca and the surrounding areas were all taken down. It was the belief in one God that would be established and continued, inshallah, to just before the day of resurrection. And so the month of Ramadan brought about this transition. Fathu Mecca, the opening of Mecca in the last 10 days. This is a call to action. This is a call to change, to bring about transition. Transition in our lives, our families, our communities, and inshallah in the whole of the Muslim world. We pray for this from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask Him to accept us, to accept our fasting and our prayers. And we ask Him to have mercy upon us in this life and the hereafter. As I leave you in peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.